It's not every day you see a beloved Hollywood star risk losing everything, yet Blake Lively, once held up as a symbol of grace and sophistication, now faces a lawsuit so colossal it could shatter her career. Months ago, she stunned the world by filing a $250 million claim against actor-director Justin Baldoni, accusing him of alarming transgressions. But the real shock came when Justin fired back, almost immediately, with a countersuit for $400 million. Suddenly, that initial number looked like mere pocket change. Fans and industry insiders alike are whispering the same question. Has Blake just picked a fight she can't win? Today, we're diving deep into the genesis of this multi-million-dollar legal confrontation, the chaotic courtroom twists, the savage media warfare, and the looming possibility of complete financial ruin. Before we're done, you might find yourself questioning everything you ever believed about one of Hollywood's golden couples. The story begins quietly, with subtle tensions brewing between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. At first, no one realized a storm was coming. Both enjoyed stable reputations in the industry, Blake for her successful movie roles and enviable fashion sense, Justin for his directorial accomplishments and philanthropic ventures. Whispers of friction surfaced about a year ago, when rumors circulated that the two had clashed over a major film project. This conflict, according to insiders, centered on creative control and profit sharing. But those rumors stayed just that. Unconfirmed rumblings that no one thought would escalate so fiercely. Everything exploded when Blake announced a lawsuit for $250 million, accusing Justin of a range of serious misdeeds. Insiders were stunned. Where did that staggering amount come from? Why go after Justin Baldoni, an artist known more for positivity and activism than for backroom deals and hidden agendas? Still, people gave Blake the benefit of the doubt. After all, she'd never been one to court scandal. So, if she was throwing down the legal gauntlet, perhaps she believed she had good reason. But the bigger surprise was Justin's response, a monstrous $400 million counterclaim. It wasn't just a typical countersuit, it was a clear statement that he wouldn't be cornered. Suddenly, the industry realized this was no ordinary celebrity tiff. We were witnessing the dawn of a Hollywood power struggle, one that threatened to leave both parties in ruins if it didn't end quickly. With tensions at a boiling point, the case marched into court for a preliminary hearing. You'd think the first session would be a mild affair, just a chance for both teams to lay out their positions. Instead, it evolved into a brutal 90-minute showdown that saw Justin's attorney Brian Friedman take center stage with an aggression that blindsided Blake's defense. Friedman, known around Hollywood circles for his no-holds-barred style, wasted zero time going on the attack. He demanded immediate clarifications on Blake's allegations. He spotlighted discrepancies in her public statements. He even addressed rumors that Blake's legal action was a strategic move to gain leverage in an upcoming project. In less than 2 hours, Friedman managed to pry open cracks in Blake's narrative, leaving her attorneys visibly shaken. But Friedman's bold approach wasn't limited to inside the courtroom. Outside those polished wooden doors, reporters swarmed in hopes of gleaning any bombshell quotes. Friedman did not disappoint. He reiterated his stance that Blake's lawsuit was baseless, going so far as to label it an attempted cash grab. Stunned, Blake's team immediately demanded a gag order to silence Friedman's media blitz. That request was promptly denied. The judge saw no reason to suppress Friedman's statements given that both sides, including Blake's, had already made public comments. This was Friedman's first major victory, one that sent a clear message. If Blake planned to shape the narrative through the press, Friedman would do the same, and the legal system wasn't going to stop him. If Friedman's opening performance shook Blake's team, the next development rattled them even more. The judge announced that both lawsuits, the $250 million suit filed by Blake and Justin's $400 million countersuit, would be merged into one case. The rationale? Both actions stemmed from the same set of circumstances, so handling them together was more efficient. This might sound like a simple procedural decision, but it had major implications. Merging the suits meant there would be only one trial, one round of evidence, one set of witnesses, one winner, or one catastrophic loser. Any illusions of drawn-out legal maneuvering vanished instantly. Neither side would get the chance to handle these claims piecemeal or manipulate the timeline to their advantage. For Blake, that was devastating. She'd presumably hoped to tackle her $250 million claim separately, perhaps to secure a favorable outcome before confronting Justin's countersuit. Now, everything came crashing together. The moment the judge combined both suits, Friedman's strategic advantage loomed even larger. The situation intensified when Friedman began pressing for depositions, particularly Blake's. Typically, a deposition is private. It's not broadcast to the world. But the sworn testimony can later be used during trial, and Friedman made it clear he intended to extract every word he could from Blake under oath. If she truly believed her allegations, she'd have to face him head-on. Desperate to avoid a direct confrontation with Friedman, Blake's lawyers asked the court to let them choose who would conduct the questioning. Yet again, the judge denied their plea. Another defeat. Another sign that Friedman was free to proceed with the relentless approach he'd promised. As if the courtroom chaos wasn't enough, Blake and Justin's battle spilled out onto the internet. Initially, Blake's side seemed to have the upper hand in the court of public opinion. She'd leaked details of her claims to major outlets, including the New York Times, apparently providing Justin with a mere 12-hour heads-up to respond before the article went live. Yet Justin refused to stay silent. If Blake wanted a media war, he was game. Friedman announced that Justin was launching an entire website dedicated to the legal dispute, a place where he would post video clips, voice recordings, messages, and any other evidence to support his countersuit. The move was daring, borderline unprecedented in such a high-profile case. Blake's lawyers were livid. They accused Justin of manipulating public sentiment and appealed to the court, arguing that this website would prejudice potential jurors. Friedman, however, reminded everyone that Blake had fired the first shots by taking her claims to the press with little warning. Why should Justin be prohibited from defending himself? The judge sided with Justin's team yet again. The repeated losses, no gag order, no protected depositions, and now no ban on Justin's website, told a troubling story for Blake. Every legal door she tried to shut ended up swinging wide open, fueling Friedman's momentum. Meanwhile, the internet latched onto each new development. Social media discussions, YouTube breakdowns, and late-night talk show jokes all turned the case into Hollywood's biggest soap opera. Lines were drawn. Some fans pledged unwavering loyalty to Blake, convinced she must have a reason for her accusations. Others supported Justin, arguing he was the true victim, fighting against false allegations. Any scandal this monumental can't help but entangle spouses. And that's exactly what happened with Blake's husband, Ryan Reynolds. When the public realized that Justin's $400 million countersuit could exceed the couple's net worth, the conversation shifted to Ryan's potential exposure. If a massive judgment were awarded against Blake, would their combined fortune be enough to cover it? Though Ryan has mostly stayed out of the fray, at least publicly, rumors suggest that behind closed doors, tensions are sky high. He's long been admired for his comedic wit and wholesome social media presence, but whispers in Hollywood claim he's deeply concerned about what might happen if Blake continues down this path. A $400 million liability wouldn't just be a bruise on their bank account, it could be financial devastation. Even top-tier Hollywood incomes struggle under that kind of blow. And let's not forget the intangible cost, a ruined reputation. Ryan has his own career to protect, with major franchise opportunities on the horizon. If Blake's legal meltdown spirals further, the fallout could cripple them both. For years, fans have adored the playful banter between Blake and Ryan on social media. They seemed like the quintessential power couple who could do no wrong. Now, they're facing a potential crisis that could test the strength of their marriage and transform their public image in ways no one ever expected. As the courtroom battles rage on, the official trial date looms, March 2026. That might feel distant, but in the legal world, time moves swiftly. Both sides are scrambling to collect and refine evidence, depose witnesses, and shape the narratives they'll present to the jury. If things continue at this rate, Blake's prospects look increasingly grim. The judge's unfavorable rulings thus far indicate that Friedman will maintain free rein to grill her, submit evidence, and speak publicly. And while Blake's team has attempted to regain control, each failed motion simply amplifies Friedman's advantage. It's not merely a matter of winning or losing the lawsuit either. Hollywood is watching and judging every misstep. The industry can be ruthless. One moment you're an A-lister with advertising deals and blockbuster film roles. The next, you're facing blacklisting, endless tabloid scrutiny, and a deluge of canceled partnerships. If Blake fails to prove her allegations, or is found liable for defamation and extortion, she won't just owe Justin a fortune, she may find herself shut out of an industry that once embraced her. Meanwhile, Justin is carefully curating his public persona. He's playing the part of someone who was forced to defend himself against baseless accusations, someone who stands for truth. That narrative resonates with many fans, especially as Friedman racks up legal wins, each one seemingly a testament to Blake's shaky position. Speculation also abounds about potential settlements. Could Blake offer an apology and an undisclosed sum to make this nightmare go away? If so, how would that affect her public image? Sometimes celebrities opt for a quiet deal, hoping to bury the conflict before it escalates further. But with Friedman's offensive stance and Justin's willingness to bear all on his new website, a private settlement might no longer be an option. Behind every public spectacle lie hidden agendas and ulterior motives. Some insiders whisper that the entire lawsuit is connected to a high-stakes business agreement gone wrong, a power play for control over a project that could have catapulted either Starr's career to a new level. Others theorize that personal animosity, fueled by a tangled network of industry alliances, pushed them to tear each other down. Whichever theory you believe, it's clear that the stakes keep climbing. With each new motion, hearing, or press release, the hostility escalates. Friedman is a pit bull of an attorney, and if he smells weakness in Blake's story, he'll exploit it relentlessly. That fear alone could explain why Blake's team fought so hard to block him from conducting her deposition directly. Moreover, there's an increasingly hostile vibe surrounding the case that stretches beyond mere legalities. Recent rumors point to additional depositions featuring acquaintances or former employees from both sides, people who might unearth embarrassing secrets. Hollywood thrives on sensational revelations, and each witness who takes the stand could add a new layer of shock to an already scandalous dispute. If any of these revelations expose contradictions in Blake's story, Friedman will be the first to pounce, weaving a narrative that Blake manipulated facts to gain leverage. On the flip side, if these depositions yield damning evidence against Justin, it could shift momentum drastically in Blake's favor. However, given the direction the early rulings have taken, observers aren't holding their breath for a dramatic turnaround anytime soon. As we edge closer to March 2026, one reality stands out. This is no ordinary celebrity quarrel. It's a legal war so massive that it threatens to topple an entire Hollywood power couple. While Blake initially portrayed herself as a victim standing up against Justin Baldoni's alleged wrongdoing, the tide has now turned, and it's dangerously close to sweeping her under. At this point, a question hovers over the entire saga. Is it too late for Blake to settle, cut her losses, and preserve what's left of her reputation? Because if she pushes forward and the jury sides with Justin, if Friedman presents the evidence he's promised, the result could be a jaw-dropping $400 million judgment. That's a figure that would haunt Blake and Ryan for years to come, possibly irreparably damaging their financial security. But the money is only one side of the story. A crushing defeat would confirm, in the eyes of many fans and Hollywood insiders, that Blake's claims were unfounded. Her credibility could vanish overnight. Sponsorships might evaporate, future roles could dry up as studios grow wary of the PR baggage she carries. Hollywood is quick to embrace rising stars, and just as quick to shun those who risk bringing negative headlines to a project. Meanwhile, Justin stands poised to transform from the alleged wrongdoer into an unlikely victor, someone who faced calamitous allegations and emerged triumphant. If he continues winning in court, the spotlight might shift to him as a resilient fighter who refused to be bullied by a bigger celebrity name. For someone with big ambitions in the industry, this entire saga could even boost his profile. So here we are, witnessing the calm before what promises to be a cataclysmic trial. Will Blake muster the courage and evidence to turn this around, or is the damage already done? With Friedman gearing up to deliver the final blow that could end her career for good, one thing is certain, this story is far from over. Every new hearing, every new piece of leaked evidence adds another layer of drama. And by the time we reach that pivotal trial date, there's no telling how much deeper this Hollywood feud will sink, or how many more casualties it will claim along the way. Blake Lively built her brand on poise, charm, and star quality. Now, that brand hangs in the balance, threatened by a relentless legal onslaught that shows no sign of slowing. If she takes one wrong step, she could lose not just this case, but the entire empire she's spent years building. The final chapter hasn't been written yet. For Blake, for Ryan, for Justin, and for everyone riveted by this extraordinary drama, the only question left is, will she fold before the trial date and salvage what she can, or take her chances on the biggest gamble of her life? Only time will tell, and until the next hearing unleashes its twists and bombshells, the world waits, hungry for answers. The tea is still brewing, and in Hollywood, anything can happen when hundreds of millions of dollars and two massive reputations hang in the balance.